Maybe I'm live, maybe I'm not. Whoever knows? I got a little snot, but I'm here tonight with all of you on the YouTube. Just hanging out. Let me turn off that. Let me get on live chat. And let me tell you all, good evening. Good evening. I think I'm like the last person, hi Shimei. I think I'm the last person I know in the community that uses Streamlabs on a daily basis. So prepare yourselves. At the 5 minute mark, we will have a big fart on the Streamlabs. You will see a spinning circle. Just refresh your connection and we'll be back. Hey Mew, Tammy, Jasmine, Sean, Melissa, Dawn Marie. We got Lip, Linda Flanagan, Ronnie. Hey Nocturnal, how are y'all doing tonight? Howdy, Olivia. I'm just kind of keeping tabs on the game here tonight. Hey, Canadian girlie, what's going on? Hey, Miss Teresa, good evening to you. Roll Tide, roll. I got it on right here, 38-24. Alabama's got the ball, 1st and 10 at the Ohio State 45. I always have to laugh at how you doing, McDave? I always have to laugh at college football. It's just all these offenses, just like bam. I mean, where in the hell did they even try to defend anymore? I mean, in college, I'm used to these 62-38 games and 51-38. How you doing, Mr. Z? Hey, Michelle. Here, Meerkat. Hello, Tyler Electronics Repair. Bama girl Nikki O'Shea, how are you getting another stimulus check? Well, we'll talk about that. All right. What a pain in the ass that's been today. That thing. Hey, Dawn Marie, you got deleted by a rogue mod on Rich Like today, and I was a mod there, and when he was at lunch, the person kept deleting me. I'm sorry, Dawn. No problem, Olivia. I've got a lot of people in Ohio. I love Ohio. I think it's a wonderful state. It's one of those states that's super underrated. It's been the birthplace of many presidents of the United States. It's, the Wright brothers doodling around in Dayton and things. There's a lot of things that I like about Ohio, post-industrial stuff. You guys, I love that. Go Buck. Hey, Dave, how are you? And then we got McDave, multiple rogue mods. Meerkat, how you doing? Hey, Lavender, long time no see. Kale, gone with the Kale and Twin Fang. Good to see you tonight. Um, yeah, Dawn, are you blocked on Lisa Linland's channel? The beautiful Scarlett has joined us. TMJ. Man, I hated that. Years ago, hey, Wade Bowen fan, years ago, I had a nice Chinese dentist down in Oakland's Chinatown there. Why did I have that? Because it was cheap as hell. Okay, like Novocaine was, you had to request it and you had to almost beg for it, right? So I was like, yeah, they'd be like, yeah, you don't need Novocaine, everything's okay, and they're drilling away and hitting nerves. Hey, Chef, how you doing? They're hitting nerves left and right, and you're just like Barry. You wonder why the chair's all torn up from people being in the chair. And one time I had to have crowns. I had to prep for crowns, and I had to have literally, I was in that chair like an hour and a half with my mouth open. And I had short-term transmedial jaw pair, whatever the hell it is. When you can't, it's a terrible pain. And mine came from I got a big mouth, but hello everybody, mine was open for so damn long that I had a little pain on the way home. I wasn't even thinking about my teeth because I'm like, wow, why do I got this pain here? And over the next 3 days, that pain became so intense. And I would think, okay, I could just move my jaw. Maybe it'll go away, but it just made it worse. There was nothing that the pain was agonizing from that. And from then on, I told doctors I can't be more than say an hour in procedures and things like that. But man, it's painful as hell. See, it is awful. Transmedial, I don't know what the hell it is. It's from when you have your jaw is it's really painful as hell. First and goal at the Ohio State 10-38. I guess we're going to be up to 45 points in a minute. I don't know. But it's one of the worst pains I had ever had in my life. It wasn't excruciating to the extent of an earache. Hey, Danny G, how you doing, beautiful? Hey, Andrea, good to see you. It wasn't excruciating to the extent that I needed pain meds besides, like Tylenol or something like shit. I've had surgeries and things, and the only thing I've ever taken is Tylenol. I've got oxys and Vicodins in a drawer that have been there for years, being TJM exercises, but if you don't do them every day, it comes back. Let's see, it's not TMI. Hi, Scottish. Yeah, 44-24. Okay, TMJ pain, just to give you an idea. I'm not a dentist, I don't play one. TMJ. The transport mandibular TMJ acts like a sliding hinge connecting your bone to your skin. You have one joint on each side. The exact a type of TMJ can cause pain in your jaw joint and in the muscles that control jaw movement. TMJ, the pain and discomfort is temporary, can be relieved with self-managed or non-surgical treatments. But I'll tell you, it is painful as hell. Can cause a clicking sound or grating sensation. Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. And I just couldn't stand that. It was awful. Yeah, we're 5 minutes in, so guys, just refresh your connection. Okay, because at the 5 minute mark, for whatever reason, let's see, refresh connection. For whatever reason, at the 5 minute mark, Streamlabs takes a dump on that. Yeah, well, that was years. That had to be 20 years ago. And, I never had that again because I told doctors I can't be sitting here. What the hell, where'd the game go? I can't be sitting here in this chair with my mouth. And they're always like, open more. And that's the problem. You overstress your mouth when you have it open, especially when you work. I hate it when they do upper because they're using a mirror and all this. They can't hang upside down. And it's such a pain in the ass to. Yeah, close and open the stream. I don't know what the hell goes on with that thing. Let me see. I'm trying to keep a track on the game here. It would appear at this point in time that Alabama is going to be rolling to another national title, but it ain't over till it's over in college football. Yeah, 45-24. With 2:52 to go in the third quarter. So what is that? 3 touchdowns difference now in that game. So Kittykin says I've had 2 minus from grinding my teeth. I have a night guard. My jaw pops all the time and the pain is bad. Hey Vanessa, sorry to hear about your uncle. How you doing, Donnie? Thomas Jordan, how are you? Dentists still do that. Leave your mouth open for now. It's not good. It's not good. Just checking in on the stream, making sure. Thank you, YouTube management. I appreciate that. I always appreciate it when YouTube management checks in just to make sure everything is going hunky-dory. Yeah, I'd say the tide's rolling pretty good. I think Ohio State's given a pretty good effort here. It's a weird year, though. Ohio State played 5 fewer games than Alabama this year because of COVID-19. Can't believe you don't have the Alabama. I don't have it. I could come on here, and by the way, the Discord is open if you haven't joined there. Discord's open. You can go in there and chat 24/7. It's like a message board, associated channel. I didn't want to come out and say, why in the hell was anybody not sent me in Alabama? I don't want to make people mad. Like I said, I love Ohio. I think it's one of the most underrated states with interesting stuff too. See, in Eastern Ohio, you have the legacy of some of the greatest boxers in the history of the world have come out of Sandusky, Steubenville, Dean Martin, of course, in those early days, the famous singer was a used to box for his dinner money over the years. He was a pretty good light middleweight, I guess middleweight boxer. And they friends of mine where I grew up when I was older in Little Italy, they in Baltimore, they'd always talk about all the stiff punchers came out of Steubenville and Sandusky. Yeah, I got some work done today. We're going to go over that. How do you do that, Rosie? The chat. What is that? You want a Clemson? Yeah. Hey, Andy, how you doing? Hey, Toodles. Hey, Cheryl's puppies are cute as FK. Okay. But I do love the state of Ohio because so much interesting stuff has come out of there. You have Cleveland, Akron, Ashtabula, Toledo. They're the kind of places that I really look forward to chooching one day and getting down around all the industrial areas. Air Force Research Lab has done a ton of sneaky beaky stuff. Have you ever been to Niagara Falls? Melissa, look at my gateway video on my channel. It's called Underneath the Roaring Niagara Falls. And it was my pick for my favorite video of 2019. It just came out beautifully. I captured rainbow and such incredible scenes riding on the Canadian boat on the Canadian side of the falls. It's not by far, it's not the biggest viewed, but it should be. It should be used as a gateway for Niagara Falls Tourist and Visitors Bureau because it shows the beauty of that. Let's see, Kitty Kins, my grandfather immigrated to Toledo from Switzerland in 1930, was a dairy farmer in Ashtabula. That's where I was born. Good for you, Aaron. And of course, hey Cobra John, Ashtabula is known for a big auto parts supporting industry. They do a lot with, rubber gaskets and um, working with rubber. And of course, Akron's the big tire country. Would I ever go over the falls in a barrel? My God. Let me tell you, I'll put the question to you. I'll put it to you this way. Who in the hell, quirky girl? Let me tell you this, quirky girl. You go out on either the Maid of the Mist, which is on the American side, the boat that you get on about a quarter of a mile down the Niagara River. They'll take you past the American Falls, which is nothing really spectacular there. It's a straight drop. And they run you up to the horseshoe of Niagara Falls. You sit there on either the Maid of the Mist or the other one, I think is a Hornblower Cruises out of Canada. And you go up to that falls and ask yourself, would I go over these falls here? And you're literally looking up a couple 100 feet or whatever, or whatever the hell it is. Now think, you're going down that river, and they have videos, unfortunately. Hey Jay, they have videos, unfortunately, of people being swept, or people will be standing there at the railing. And well, wasn't that a body that just came by? And people. There are people that bodies just float down the river and go over the side. And, they've had some woman just jumped over the side and it's like, bye, just over the falls, never to be seen again. And, back in the 1970s, a lot of people don't know this, but they turned off Niagara Falls. Okay. They diverted the river to do some checking and to do some things. They wanted to restructure the American Falls. And they found quite a few bones and things down at the bottom of the waterfall there. There's no way in God's green earth. Yeah, I'm scared of heights, but it's you can't realize the power of Niagara Falls until you're really below it. I mean, it's spectacular when you're standing up at the level of the falls. I mean, it's incredible, especially if it's a partially cloudy and sunny day and you get the rainbows over it and things like that. But you can't imagine, I don't know, with millions of gallons a day flowing over that, and it's just it's one Great Lake trying to empty into another, and that's why you have things like Lockport that have to raise boats up to from Erie to Ontario or whatever. It's a hell of a thing. My mom went to Niagara Falls on her honeymoon when she lived in the state. Yeah, thank you, Cheryl. There's the cinematic video. It's about 4 minutes long, and you will have a great idea what that ride is like. It's a very cinematic movie with music, boarding the boat, and I don't like to just video and just do the falls. You have to have something in the foreground, and I like to have people in the foreground that were holding their selfie sticks. It's cool to see people's reactions on the boat, and you get much better depth of, it becomes more interesting composition. So, yeah, did you ever know where it's crazy rough? I think they call it the gorge. I don't know, but I think everybody, if they have a chance, should go to Niagara Falls just to witness raw natural beauty at its finest there. I mean, I know there's Angel Falls and Victoria Falls and Bridal Falls and I don't know if it's Yosemite or something. I mean, no, there's a lot of beautiful waterfalls, but for raw power, I don't think anything comes near to the Canadian Falls that are on there. Oh, a lot of us were conceived in Niagara Falls, huh? It was, it had its good, and the good is how beautiful it is. The bad was how badly run down on the New York side. The city of Niagara Falls, the town of Niagara Falls was, I think they had tried to do gambling or something like that. I don't know, the town was just, it was crumbling. You could see the cool old hotels from from 1890s and 1920s. It was pretty damn cool. We celebrated my brother's 16th birthday in a revolving restaurant at Niagara Falls. I remember seeing that. I remember it. I remember seeing that. Hey, Freak in the Sheet. Hey, Cindy. Yeah, that's a lot of falls. Yep. So I would recommend that if you have a chance to see that, that you guys should see that. So we got the end of the third quarter. We got one more quarter to go. 45-24 tie on that. Well, you gotta look at the history of Niagara Falls in terms of, before you're too rough on Niagara Falls. Understand this, because it's proximity to Buffalo and Rochester and New York City and places like that, and very few people took planes anywhere. Right, air travel hadn't really opened up until the 1960s. So a lot of people's first thought was Niagara Falls is a perfect place to go on a honeymoon because you can go on a train, you can drive a car there, and the hotel's all built up to accommodate that. Once jet travel took over, the same fate happened to the Poconos in the Borscht Belt up there, Grossinger's, a lot of the big old hotels. They all, people went other places. They had other interests, and short-term travel within 400 miles or so was, no, wasn't really people weren't really into that. Hey, Grateful. Hi, Sean. How are you? Has the better portion that falls by geography. Is it cold in California? Not particularly. Um, but the sound of water makes people horny. You can hear it. Actually, when you're approaching Niagara Falls from the Canadian side, you can see all the mist rising. And then when you get out of your car, you hear this distinctive low frequency roaring. And I don't think anything ever prepares you for the sight. You go through a visitor's entrance, and when you walk through there and you walk out onto the deck, at least the Canadian side, and you walk up to that railing, and it's one of the most spectacular sights that you can see. But I was saying once people started taking airplanes and traveling to Hawaii and Mexico and Europe, it pretty much decimated a lot of those tourist towns. So thank you, Andrea. Welcome to the Discord. I think Niagara Falls was, yeah, Melissa, check out that video that Cheryl linked. I think that you will enjoy, you'll get an idea looking down from below. I guess they approach within about 100 feet of the falls. And it's interesting to view the boats as when you're up on the upper part, see them going towards the falls. They want to make sure you get plenty of spray when, when you're there. What's up, big dog? How you doing? What is going on? So it's always an interesting site. Hi, Bronson. How you doing? I love it. Yeah, Cheryl, I have great moderators. Not only do they do a good job on the chat, but if I need information, if I need something posted, my moderators can dig it out. And there's just several videos of Niagara Falls too. But when people land on the channel for the first time, as non-subscribers, that's the video that they'll watch about Niagara Falls. And I switch that between a night in Tijuana and that one. It was really cool. Under the Falls in part one. The Poconos used to be a popular dirty dance. I think that was actually up more in the Borscht Belt up there. They might be in the Poconos. I don't know. Still around. I once used Niagara spray starch. I remember that. I never got the connection between what the connection between Niagara Falls and the spray starch. I remember my mother used to ironing shirts and stuff and all that kind of crap. Beautiful flowers on the record player. Yeah, they're just about had it, but the wonderful flowers that were sent to me recently, I've been working really hard to keep them going. How you doing, monkey boy? How are you? So do go to Niagara Falls if you have a chance. When I go up again, and of course, I have Bella Rose, the Queen of Buffalo, up there, who was kind enough to take me around and tour me around Lockport, where they actually raise boats up from whatever, lower them down from, I don't know, Ontario to Lake Erie, whichever one's higher. I want to go back to Niagara Falls and explore the old city, the old town of Niagara Falls, because I'm interested in things that are past their heyday, but it makes them more fascinating to me. My day was good. I remember the boat we were on was Made of the Mist. Yeah, they have Made of the Mist 1, 2, 3, and 4, and in summer, spring, summer, and fall, they're just running continuous. On the Canadian side, it's a red boat. I think it's a horn blower, and it's, of course, the Maid of the Mist on the other side over there, and people enjoy that. How you doing, Timothy Martin? What's going on? What's going on with you? How are you tonight? So make sure I use Niagara spray starch for quilting. All right. What's up, Kip? How you doing? Nice to see you. Make sure you check that out. I think New York is so underrated. Most of the attention, of course, focuses on New York City, but I can't wait to get back to Buffalo and explore Buffalo. I had some of the greatest buffalo wings I had at Duff's Original. I didn't get to go to the Anchor Bar, although I have a few invitations to hit the Anchor Bar when I'm up there, which is really where they say that the buffalo wings were developed. So I look forward to that. There's a haunted hotel by Niagara Falls I want to stay at. Well, let me tell you this, Andrea. The whole friggin' town looks like it's haunted, okay? I mean, literally, there's hotels crumbling before your eyes and things are boarded up. I mean, it's prime Chooching country up there. It is phenomenal. Thank you, John. Says enjoyed the shop cleanup earlier. Thank you very much. I'm the kind of person I'm not like Missy Jen was. Missy Jen just everything in a place all the time. She'd be finished with something, but everything was always neat as a pin. My stuff looked like Oscar Madison. She looked like Felix Unger. I mean, I guess I should turn my hat around. Do 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 do. He secretly, who knew one day she would be back. Do 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 do. La da 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 da. But I do reach a point where I can't take it anymore, and that point usually is reached when I'm going into the workshop and I'm tripping over tools and boxes and all that stuff, and I just go crazy. Yeah, the tide is 52 to 24 now, so they're really, uh, really piling it on. But no shame in Ohio State's game either. I mean, just to get to that game, I think is a remarkable thing. How you doing, Archimedes girl? It's no secret I've always been a fan of Alabama. Don't hate me. I just like the program because of the tradition of it. It's so hard to sustain a winning college program over decades, and I grew up with the great Bear Bryant and some of the legendary coaches of Alabama. It's very hard to sustain decade in and decade out, so you got to give credit where credit's due. When the bridge opens, we got to meet. I can't wait to meet you up there, Tupac. I'll be kind of a misfit on your stream, but Tupac's like, Rosie, you don't come over to my channel. I do, Tupac. It's just like sometimes I feel like I'd be inserting a round peg into a square hole or whatever. You see Tupac like blasting away. Yeah, that dumb son of a bitch. And then Rosie come. Oh, hi, Rosie. How are you? Good to see you. Rosie's a game changer out there, right, for people. But I do enjoy your rap, Tupac, and I hope a lot of people sub you up over there. So I used to be a Felix, but I've transformed into an Oscar. My my thing is that because I'll never be a Felix. Okay, I'll never be a Felix. I'll always be an Oscar Madison. But my evolutionary thinking went like this. If I have less shit around here, then I have less stuff to get messed up, less stuff to be put away, less stuff to be dealt with in a way of junk and accumulations and things like that. My rule, and people really did a great job. I didn't want any Christmas gifts, and I got a ton of gifts from you guys. But the beautiful thing was that everything came with usefulness. It's stuff that you use all the time, and I think that that's the hallmark of a great gift. I love jewelry and things like that. I'm not often in a position to wear it, but I am in a position to use a good wooden spoon, fork, spatula set, and the mugs and the things that were sent to me. You play a lot of 80s music. Yeah, you'll be live tomorrow, so go check out Tupac over there. He hosts a pretty good channel. Uncle Bill had a drinking problem. Buffy overdosed at 16. Minimalism is a big thing. Hey Jody girl, how are you? Good to see you. I just watched the original movie a couple of nights ago. I'm definitely the Oscar, and of course that was Neil Simon's great play, The Odd Couple. There, which I used to enjoy the show, but one season of that, and it's hard to. You ever eat a Tide Pod? No, I have never. I've bounced around in the Tide before, but I've never had a Tide Pod. Okay, like, what do you? Okay, let's think about it. All right, I get a Tide Pod, Now, a couple things are going to happen. Number one, I'm going to swallow that Tide Pod if I'm lucky. And I don't know, maybe it'll come out the other end, or maybe, I don't know. All right. The other thing, more likely, A, choke on it. B, the damn thing opens up in your mouth and your flipper does. I used to do a good flipper. Yeah, yeah. We need less. Always need less stuff out there. So yeah, I'm not. I've never done the hot pepper challenges. I didn't do the ice bucket challenges. I just don't really do the. What was the one with cinnamon? Does somebody know about that? Yeah, gun mod. What were you supposed to do with the cinnamon? Eat like and I'm not a big fan of cinnamon. I like it on toast, and that's about it. But what was the and in some baking? But what was the thing that you were supposed to do um, with cinnamon? Yeah, I get spooked, Andrea. Yes, I do. I get very spooked. Okay, I still haven't worked on that video clip that Missy, aka, took out of that death room for Stu Unger in Vegas. What were you supposed to do with the hi BB? No, I'm kind of a slob. I just came out of the shop tonight, but thank you. You swallow it, but how much? How much? How much are you supposed? A spoonful. Um, I don't know. Just ground cinnamon by itself. I just don't know if I can inhale it. 911, state your emergency. Yeah, just inhale this cinnamon here. What? No, we don't need any food tonight. No, you don't understand. I inhaled a spoon of cinnamon. Yeah, all right. Well, have a good night. You aspirate and it burns. You don't want that. You don't want your lungs to have. You don't want to do that, man. I mean, that's no, 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 no. No, 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 no. And people do some kooky challenges. And I don't know how many people have been zapped by the Tide Pod challenge. You're supposed to swallow a Tide Pod, which is one of the encapsulated detergent things. For what point, I don't know. To show you have balls or something to do something. I don't understand that. I don't understand that philosophy at all. Okay, we're 52 to 30 with 8 minutes to go. I'll tell you, there's absolutely no defense in these college. Do they even produce defensive players anymore? I don't know. It just seems like a dumb thing to do. Cinnamon's actually, can you drop your super chat? I don't understand. Tupac, because you're very sweet and I want you to hold on to your money. I came out of Las Vegas about $2,600 to the good. I was hitting royal flush, four aces two times, four threes with a four. Each of those was $200 additional, four fives, four sevens, four queens. Man, I was on fire. Okay, now I've got that money. That's going to keep me going till the end of the month. Yeah, I have big health insurance bills that I got to pay and things like that. But I don't want to ask, I don't want people to give me a dime when I'm digesting these winnings that I took in here. I don't need it. I don't want it right now. Okay. There's a time for it, and that time is now. So I've disabled the PayPal, the super chats, the super stickers, and things like that. Because just come in, have fun, and keep your wallet in your pockets. Yeah, good karma. Originally, Niagara Falls was the first spray cornstarch. It was marked crisp, fresh, and you only needed a mist. Oh, okay, Trisha. Interesting. Hey, Robert, you can use Niagara as a hairspray. The only thing I ever remember about Niagara was I used to experiment with spray cans of hairspray and stuff, and I would put a match in front of it till I lit the curtains on the kitchen on fire one time. That wasn't really a cool, watching those flames go up to the ceiling in a house built in 1912 was a unique experience, let me tell you. Uh, no, you're not going to give me money, Tupac. You're going to hold on to your money. You are going to hold on to your money. Don't want it. Don't want it. Right now, money is good at this particular time. Maybe it'll prepay my health insurance coming up. I'm happy. I'm an independent contractor, so I don't have any benefits. And I really won't till I'm 65, but I don't care, right? I had a good time in Vegas. I was a winner, okay? And I don't want people putting money out there. Let's keep moving forward, making content, having fun. I hope you understand. So good to see you, Robert McCann. I had a lot of, man, that that hairspray. I don't know what it was called, Aquanet or something like that. I used to read my sister's diary, and we would, well, all of us did, because she blasted us with Beatles music and love story. Where do I begin? 1,000 times a week. And we just go read the diary and leave it open on their pillow. Who read mine? And then we'd grab the Aquanet and, because that was the days of the big bouffant and the junior prom and all that kind of crap. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good times, man. If you couldn't laugh about those times, just good stuff. Now, that said, yeah, it was some type of lacquer. You won $900 on Saturday night too. Good for you, Cheryl. Aquanet was unreal how that rated #1 in our flammability test. A little too much. Curtains went right up. I mean, how are you going to rush out and get another pair of curtains when, when the friggin' wall is scorched and you're not going to have a simple clean up and cover up operation on that. Kiss and blow fire. You doing? Yeah, Cardinal. I think I will do metal detecting. Hey, what's up? What's up, Mark? How you doing tonight? Singer, songwriter. Civil War. Well, we're going to get to that. Stimulus arrives. For many of you, is directly deposited into your bank account. I assumed, because I was kind of at the end of the line last time, that I was going to get a check again. But no, I get home and I have a Visa debit card with stars on it. And what a pain in the ass this thing. What a pain in the ass thing. Okay, you could use it as a debit card. Okay, you could do that. And that's okay, but I wanted to just I don't like to carry a lot of debit cards because it's a pain in the ass. I got the card here, right? And I'm like, what the hell do I do with this thing? I go to, I activate it on the phone, right? I check the balance. Yeah, the money. Okay, the money's there. It's like go to your ATM. Okay, I'm gonna get some cash and slide it in there. And I don't know what it is with my luck of ATMs or something. I'm literally standing there for 10 minutes while this thing is just circling. It doesn't say wrong PIN number. It doesn't say in progress. This thing is just circling. Okay, the little B of A symbol, and there's just a circle going around it. And of course, people are standing in line. They've got their little cards too, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This time I was kind of smart. I pushed the cancel button and my card came spitting out again. Everybody's like, "Oh, good, go home, get out of here." So, what I did was come home and I went online to the I don't know what is it called? EIPcard.com, and I was able to enter my bank information in, the routing number and account number, and slide. It was a pain in the ass, so you had to do phone number, email, the whole do you want updates on offers? No, I don't. And finally, I slid that money in off the card. So it's a pain in the ass. I don't think Mansion has the final say. So uh, who knows? Who knows what's going to come up, guys? And that's what I wanted to, there's actually people out there talking about Civil War and stuff like that. And then never in my lifetime, I mean, I've heard a lot of jokes about Northern California splitting off from Southern California, the creation of the state called Jefferson, somewhere else. But it's kind of worrisome out there. People, thank you, Toodles. This came from Missy Jen for Christmas. Thank you. How you doing, Kian? How are you? Oh, I would say I'm far from the best on YouTube. Hey, Footsteps in the Dark, Cardinal, how are you? It is a little worrisome out there, and social media is taking a lot of beating right now on a lot of the people were circling Twitter headquarters, and of course nobody's working at Twitter. They're all working from home now. But people were circling the block, honking their horns, and a few protesters. But you had many more counter protesters out there doing that. People were pretty upset, about the state of things right now. And I hope nothing happens. You were talking about the $2,000 stimulus. Uh, if you're coming in as the new president, number one, you have to worry about, I wonder if I'm even going to make it to raise and take the oath of office. These days, I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I'm online on social media. But I can imagine a few ugly scenarios out there in the world. And I just, I don't, I don't like the tenor of, the tone of things these days. I never imagined, and I've been around, I was an Eisenhower baby, so I've been around a lot of inaugurations, a lot of parades, you know, Kennedy, Nixon, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, all these kind of things. And I can never remember a sitting president, I mean, in the whole history of maybe at least 100 years of a sitting president, not being picked up at the White House on Inauguration Day and in the car picking him up as the president elect of the country. And, it's weird. It's weird to me how fractured stuff is. That even on a day that we used to celebrate and cheer and have inaugural balls, and even when we lost, and my candidates lost a few times, and I mean, but I still enjoyed the event of inauguration day and all the hoopla and parades. It's going to be really weird. Trisha G says the Capitol building has a 7-foot fence with bars. That's never a good sign. I'm always very careful what I say, okay? But you can go all the way back to, you know, Calvin Coolidge in 1922 or whatever, and riding next to President-elect in 1928, Herbert Hoover. I mean, it's just unprecedented to me not to have a sitting president attend the inauguration of the next president. No, I don't say anything about that. I'm not going to. Uh, I'm just going to hold the line on that. But it's my fear is that we slide off, and I've said that before, some type of chaos, economic meltdown, something like that in 2021. Because I'm thinking, okay, a lot of people are getting stimulus. A lot of people have been able to collect unemployment or the self-employment thing like that. And what's going to be in reserve for the next time, and what's going to happen when people start to lose their jobs en masse in a huge way. And I mean, it's going to be like Occupy Wall Street on a grand scale out there, and cities are just going to be, I think, powder kegs. And um, I think social media is going to have to take more responsibility for what people post, the information, the disinformation. I'm all about freedom of speech, but I think a lot of times we've lost our moorings in terms of what's real news and what's fake news. Cheryl says, not since 1826 has a president not attended the inauguration. Yeah, I mean, we should be, and I've never thought in my lifetime that there would be an attempt to impeach a president for the second time. We had Andrew Johnson who survived by one vote, but hell, a lot of that was Lincoln's fault because it was the only time in history that Lincoln, who was a Republican, in his second term chose a Democrat to to be his vice president, okay, because he thought it would heal the nation and unite it. And here comes Andrew Johnson, drunk as a skunk on inauguration day, and the radical Republicans hated his guts from the get-go. Okay, we know how that turned out. But he didn't get removed from office, nor did Clinton didn't get removed from office. Trump didn't get removed the first time. I don't know, it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. So I don't want to get too political tonight, but yeah, when you think it's the first time since 1826, that's almost 200 years. Are we that split and that fractured that we just can't put our differences aside enough as parties to just say, hey, okay, we're not going to talk about whether the election, we're going to get past that now and it's time to unite and let's pull together. So, I mean, are we supposed to stay apart? Hey, Joey D. I know nothing. Oh, Melissa, I don't know. I'm just saying, but think about the weirdness of you're a Republican president. Abraham Lincoln, really the father of the Republican Party, and then on re-election in 1864, you're going to reach across the aisle and pick a Democrat from Tennessee, no less. Even though Tennessee was a Union state, I mean, it just didn't really go down good with the radical Republicans wanting to torch the South in every conceivable way they can. And of course, Lincoln was all about malice toward none and all that. Has anyone in chat fractured from friends, family over this? Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because in my life, I've never seen people so staunchly, so widely separated to the point of just hatred. To the point that people go to the Capitol building to protest and then just burst through and go into the Capitol building. This may be, and I think people are still discussing this. This may be more of a watershed happening than we realize, because the important takeaway from that is that if you have a big enough crowd of people, then anything is possible. Okay. 100, 200, 500 people gathered outside that Capitol building on January 6th, no way that they would have ever passed the Capitol Police, and no way they would have ever gotten in. But when you have thousands of people massed out there, the power of, there's nothing to contain that force, and that's scary. That's scary, scary. He only eats fast food. Hey, how you doing, Red Road Runner? Some people love Trump, some people don't. But I think we got to move on as a nation and recognize that we can't go back in time. The reality is that 50 states, secretaries of state certified those elections. That's on a local basis with, I think, over 30 of them being being Republicans that certified the elections within their state. What do we tell those people? I mean, what do we tell them? Did we tell them that they were not faithful and honest? Did we tell them that you weren't a true Republican? I don't know. I mean, we clearly they probably didn't vote for Biden. So you can see where things are a little jingle jangled in my mind on that. I don't know if money got to them, Mike Jordan. I don't imagine that their salaries. I think they're fixed salaries. I can't imagine somebody being so ham-fisted to come in and offer money to a Secretary of State, to certify an election. I can't fathom that. I can't wrap my head around a person accepting that money. But we'll see what happens. My point is, I'm not going down the road of hate or dislike or I'm no lover of Biden. I've been no lover of Trump. I've been pretty much a moderate. I try to see both the good and bad in both sides. But I think there's a point where we got to move on to January 20th, and this is where, what's Biden going to unveil? They got something. He's got something cooking up, some big plan. So I would not be surprised if he comes out with a very bold initiative. Hey, Gary indoors. I wouldn't be surprised if he came out with some type of very bold initiative to. I don't know if he's going to fire another 2,000 in the hole, but there could be a little bit of, and we're not even in that dire of straits, economically speaking. So I don't know if it needs a ton of stuff. So. Hi, watch. In my zip code, one guy collected more than 300 ballots and delivered them read. The same number of people did that in Georgia. It would be 250,000 votes. My stock investments sucked and been done fabulously under Trump. But you got to recognize, which brings me to the last point, bubbles in Bitcoin. Okay, I mean, we're just. We're down here. People were storming the Capitol and restaurants we got to look with our eyes a little bit at street level. I'm reading my local paper, even the hoity-toity town of Healdsburg, that cute little wine country town up there that I've taken you to many times. The restaurants are just, they're closing up there, and the businesses are hurting big time. Now, I know California is not representative of, say, Biloxi, Mississippi, or Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, or Savannah, Georgia, or Philadelphia, PA. But how you doing, JK NoCal? Oh, thank you, Gertie. And I just wonder if cheap money, which we've had for years, that have decimated people that are savings accounts. Who in the hell? I don't know. I guess I'm one of the last people that has a savings account, right? I was a kid, good old 5% interest was the norm, and a little piggy bank to put it in, or a toaster. Nowadays, the banks don't even run advert, 0.5, a half a percent interest per year, big saver certificate, $50,000. I mean, we have screwed up this country. We have pushed money into a huge speculative bubble of unimaginable proportions, and now that money was flooding into Bitcoin, and and there's a caution about Bitcoin and stuff like that. But I just our eyes tell us one thing on street level, and I know that markets look ahead, but I don't know. I don't know. We're either going to be up and away with inflation and ripping tremendous inflation, or we're going over Niagara Falls here, one way or the other. Uh, did you get the 2K, the 2K back? What are we talking? Oh yeah, yeah, that's been credited to my account. How you doing, Janet? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, I just worry a little bit now. Interest rates are starting to rise, probably good because people are fearful in the money markets that Biden might really unleash tremendous amounts of stimulus or whatever, and there's going to be people be wallpapering their bathroom with $100 bills or something. I don't know. I think we might be coming to the end of the cheap money. It's gonna we got so much debt piled on so much debt piled on so much. I don't even know how you roll all this crap over. You know. Cuna, I don't know about any of I don't. I stay clear of that. I don't want to get in the swamp of politics too much because we truly have a nation that's very divided. And what it seems to be to me is it's going to be urban. It's going to be weird the way this thing cuts. It's going to be basically urban and suburban against people that live on 1% of the land mass of America versus 90, the people who live on 99% of the other land in this country. And that's pretty weird. Because you see in elections, all the cities, major wins all go blue. And, and then it's all the rest of the state geographically is the other way. Come on, man. Come on, man. So McDave, we're in bubble country, my friend. We are in bubble country, and it's not going to end well. All right, it's not going to end well. All right, I'm just going to say this thing went much further than I would ever have thought it could have gone. But that's the power when people can't put money into savings accounts, when there's no real, now they're pushing real estate up again and things like that, even though job losses are high and continuing to starting nudging back up towards higher unemployment. I mean, I don't know. You go to Las Vegas and there's nobody on the streets per se, and yet the volume of new houses sold and record low number of houses on the market. If that's not a bubble, I don't know what it is. Yeah, we've been on borrowed paper. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Congratulations to the Alabama Crimson Tide. I don't know how many national titles. Congratulations also to the Ohio State University for being at that game and showing up and putting up a good fight. You got a lot of class. A lot of class. The Ohio State University. China gun collect its debt and buy the U.S. out for dirt cheap. Oh, I got to try to get to. Okay, take care, Jeffrey. Thank you. Yeah, it is kind of a different time that we live in now. And you notice that all of our all of our economic stuff is all screwed up. I don't know how old many of you are, but like I said, I grew up with the piggy bank and the 5% savings account, which was, until for the first 30 years of my until I was, I don't know, 25 years, that was kind of the norm. And then inflation took off and 18% money markets or whatever. Now there's no incentive to even save money anymore. And that's what worries me. Those people who think it's just, we're going to have a correction or it's not a bubble is we don't have there's not a lot to fall back on in the way. There's not a lot of fat on the meat right now, right? I mean, we're literally at the bone. A lot of people are living on the bone, and very few people have any appreciable savings out there. And most of it they count in IRAs and stuff like that. Roll Tide. I'll say no guns and bullets in any stores. Kind of. Well, I've been trying to pick up some stuff, but it's not out there. So, it is what it is. Toodles, don't worry. Ohio State University had a hell of a season. Okay, and they showed up and they played an excellent first half and kept it close and just, the Tide just put it away. So yeah, at least Cleveland won. So be happy about that. And my Ravens won, which is a good thing. My Ravens will be playing in Buffalo in Orchard Park up there on Saturday evening. Watch it be cold as a witch's tit. People are like, people are like, I hope I don't get the ball, right? Can I send it to you? What are you going to send me, honey? What is it? What are you going to send me? What are you going to send me? I think prepping always makes sense. Let's see. What are you going to send there, Andrea? I missed what you're going to send. I don't know, Laura, living page. Yeah, there's no savings really anymore in this country, right? I mean, most everybody's what they consider savings is wrapped up into 401k plans or state pension plans, and there's too much just hanging on a perfect future, for what we're facing right now. So, uh, at least they have a paycheck, exactly. So, what do you need that you can't find? Oh no, you can't ship ammo. No, I wouldn't even do that these days. If they X-ray that stuff at the post office or Federal Express or UPS, they're going to take you out in the middle of the night there. Okay. How are you? I'm doing good, Dose World. How are you doing? $4,000 every time you touch the ball. Cheryl's the only one I know that runs the economics of every time somebody puts their hand on the ball, it's $4,000. Witch's tit is purported to be very cold. I don't know. It's supposed to be pretty cold. Yeah, you better not ship anything by common carrier. Our generation was taught to have 5,000 at all times in savings for an emergency. That was in 1970. Yeah, but it's become progressively harder to sustain our standard of living in this country, and I don't think printing money and I don't think care how much debt the Federal Reserve buys in. You can't you can't force people to open businesses. You can't force people to expand and build new plant. If people's psychology's not right, then it's like pushing on a string. Cold here in Toronto. California has really strict rules. Yeah, you have to really be careful about that. But I don't expect any. Um, now we have a new administration coming in. We're going to have a Democrat House of Representatives, a Democrat Congress, and we will have basically, some people call it a Republican Supreme Court. So it sets up a similar scenario to the Great Depression and the New Deal, where Democrats controlled everything, and then as the years went by, the Supreme Court dismantled a lot of those NRA and a lot of that kind of program. But I can't imagine that the Second Amendment would not be under assault over the coming 4 years. That's one reason I think a lot of people have procured what they want now. Not that they want to go out and cause mayhem, but they're just prepping. They're just absolutely prepping. Actually, it's a lot warmer than typical. Okay, good. So that poor fellow has to clean up all that red ribbon crap on the football field. So we don't know what's going to happen in terms of how the Second Amendment's going to fare. I don't know. You can have a case where people propose. I mean, the Constitution's been amended before. Uh, one end of the spectrum says that you repeal the Second Amendment or whatever, and I mean you'll have people that push for that, to amend the Constitution to remove the right to bear arms, and you might have the force of government behind that. You never know. and then has to be ratified by the states and stuff. So I know it'll start mayhem. That's why we have to consider the possibility that the stars are aligning for problems here. We think about the Civil War as something that happened 100 and, you know, whatever, 160 years ago or something like that. Okay, but it happened. And most people, if you remember the movie Gone with the Wind, that opening scene where they're standing around the parlor and Rhett Butler comes in and they're talking about whether there'll be war or not war. And, you know, Scarlett's like, fiddly dee, there won't be any war. You know, most people didn't expect a war, and sometimes stuff happens when you least expect it. Now, I did hear today that the FBI, I did hear that on the news while I was working in the workshop, and some of you heard it, that the FBI is briefing that they are expecting some sort of protest activities at 50 state houses in the nation. Now, I don't know how that's going to be. I don't know. How you doing, Elmer? You're going along with a lot of the damn craziness. I couldn't live in that stand. Yeah, well, you guys are divided. I'm not here to devote. The votes have been cast. I've got probably equal Democrats and Republicans here, which is fine. But I'm just saying, we're beyond that now. Now you start talking about personal liberties and what the government will or won't do, and job loss gets thrown on that. And you think about that movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas, and I walked around MacArthur Park where that famous scene of the guy coming up and asking for money, and it was a great movie, Falling Down. And you know, with job loss and things like that, I mean, some people just they go over the edge. And some people, when they feel like their constitutional rights are being trampled on, they do take the opportunity to take more forcible action. A lot of times they feel like they got nothing to lose out there. So, my friend, he's coming to D.C. for this. You're correct. Cali's beautiful, but Newsom sucks. I don't know. You know, you had Schwarzenegger come out today, and he made a statement on the Capitol storming of the Capitol building on January 6th. We may look back and see that that was one of the real watershed moments that we didn't really fully recognize at the time, that all of a sudden there's a lot of people sitting back now saying, wow, that was frightening as hell. And then there's another big group of people out there sitting back and saying, wow, we really accomplished something, man. That's the power of the crowd. I mean, imagine if we do that here, there, or everywhere. And that's where social media comes in, that we see Twitter and Facebook, the ability to get flash mobs and to organize things comes into play. And I think that's a real threat to government right there. I really do. I think something like that can have a very destabilizing influence, and that's what worries me a little bit. Hey, Rhonda, how are you? How you doing tonight? So let's get beyond the election. Let's not focus on party, and let's just focus on people that are beyond that now, and they're already well ahead now into what's going to happen in the next 4 years. You know, you hear people, Biden will be dead in 6 months, and Kamala Harris is going to be the president. Well, we don't know. I mean, Biden's mother lived to, 180 or something. I mean, we don't really know that, but I'm just saying there's all sorts of speculation about what would and wouldn't be done. Blasty, yeah, no, yeah. We'll just have to see what happens on there. I don't watch Fox News for sure. I try to watch Fox News online, CNN online, MSNBC, New York Times, the Epoch Times, the Guardian, the Financial Times of London, Bloomberg. I try to get balance, and I don't seek out the voice I want to reinforce my own thought. I seek out counter opinions so I understand, try to understand the lay of the land. I know the people that think like I do, but what I want to know is the people that don't think like I do and what's going on in their minds and how can we change that? No, Cheryl, I think we're well engaged in a good topic tonight. We're not talking politics per se. We're talking about beyond January 20th and things. So I think people are engaged tonight. I don't see any hate speech out here. I mean, I'm just trying to move beyond the election now, and just trying to look out there, having been on this earth 60 plus years and have a little bit of history behind me, just to kind of survey things and see where the hot spots could be and stuff like that. Yeah, well, we've talked about the bubble a little bit and my fears, and people have been asking me about Bitcoin. I don't own Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is a very limited number of coins, 81 million coins or something that can be minted or something like that. And it just becomes like anything else. It's a limited quantity of items. If the crowd starts to move in and get swept up in the mania, then whether it's baseball cards, there's a limited number of Ted Williams cards or Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and um, and it's like anything else. There it goes. Coins in 1980 and baseball cards and comic books. It's like anything else that has a finite supply. Sometimes the crowd moves in and it just gets the bit in its mouth and it's off to the races. Goes higher, it attracts more people, and it becomes a vortex, that just sucks in more and more money. Okay. The problem with Bitcoin, in my mind, and this is not, I'm not, look, some of you, I know JK NoCal has been aboard the Bitcoin train and some other people too, Kit and Kat. The problem is that now it's kind of caught the eye of the Chancellor of the Exchequer in the UK. He's starting to get worried now about the bubbles and the fallout of people that may get potentially screwed on Bitcoin purchases. And now the Treasury of the Federal Reserve and other places are looking at Bitcoin because you can't use it. You can't. It's not considered legal tender. Okay, it's just like a collectible out there. Okay, and you can't use it to pay off debts and things like that. And it's so easy to choke off Bitcoin if the Federal Reserve just says this can't be monetized. Korea already says that it can't be monetized. It's just think of it as just baseball cards out there. Okay, it's all good when the crowd's rolling in, but when the tide goes out, you don't want to be the one holding the bag on that. You want the 52 Mickey Mantle rookie card, huh? Is for the dark web, but you have to have. The problem comes, Sean, that you have to. A Bitcoin by itself is worth nothing. Okay, it's an idea. It's a fiat. It's not even a currency. It's a fiat item that holds the value that the market at that time says that it has. Whether it's 500 or it hit 41,000 or something like that. When things get volatile, like silver did in 1980, when the Hunt brothers were trying to corner the market and it went crazy, governments step in and they change the rules of the game. Okay. And it's very easy for 4 or 5 major countries to get together and just say, "Whoop, you know, this is the way that the Bitcoin's going to be run now, or it's not going to be, we're not going to allow a gambling gallery and things like that. That's all it's turning into, a speculative venture right now. No. Um, that's the thing I just want to say about Bitcoin. There's a lot of people getting in, and there's a lot of speculation because there's not a lot of ways to make money right now. It's getting a lot of headlines. It's getting a lot of press, and just be careful out there. Just realize what the governments will never allow that to be. Yeah, they allow it to be like the baseball card market right now, and that's okay, right? But if stuff gets so out of hand, then it's extremely unstable, and it's already like $200 billion worth of Bitcoin, and it reaches a point where the Federal Reserve and the Bank of England start to think this could be a destabilizing influence on the economy if something was to happen to Bitcoin. And how are these people gonna get screwed? Are we gonna have to bail them out, for their decisions and all of that. E. Will says that's misinformation. It can't be misinformation, E. Will, because any governmental authority, like South Korea already did, can step in at any time and say that this is not a monetary unit in Korea. You can trade it, you can do what you want with it, but when it reaches a point where it becomes a potential source of financial destabilization, then you better believe that the governments will exercise their power when it comes to Bitcoin. There's not a government in the world that would allow Bitcoin to be a substantial pillar of any economy. Okay? That upsets the whole balance of the fiat currency structure that's in place now. So misinformation? No. Reality. Let's see. Hi, watch. What did she say? China. Oh, don't do that, High Watch. I'm just. Oh, okay, E. Will. I'm just expressing an opinion here. I've seen, I've seen governments. I've seen them come in and crush markets. In 1979, 1980, the silver market was going crazy. Inflation was just peaking out. This was before Volcker started really getting extreme with pushing up interest rates to break the back of inflation. I saw people standing in line with silver sticks and silver platters and coins and spoons and flatware, lined up for hours waiting in line to sell that crap and get the money out of it. And that market got so hot that the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which regulates commodity markets, came in and broke the back of the Hunt Brothers bubble, because at that time you only needed $1,000 to control a contract of 5,000 ounces of silver. And then they just said, hey, now the margin's going to be 50,000 per contract, and no way that the Hunt Brothers could put up that kind of margin. And sell it all, man, like a scene out of Trading Places. Sell. Good night, Andrea. Yeah, Greece. So just be careful. Yeah, I remember when they go down the street from me, I was buying everybody. Yeah, I remember going to my local coin shop and seeing people with my own eyes lined up. And I remember people holding silver services and platters and what do you call that? I don't know, the things you put tea in before you pour it to kettles, or whatever the hell they call them. That's great, High Watch. That's awesome. So I'm not saying it can't continue, but if the Fed only allows, in the Bank of England, only allows unregulated activities to go for so long, because they know when the stuff hits the fan, not if. They know when the stuff hits the fan. that the people are going to turn to the government first and say, why didn't you do something to step in and regulate this stuff? Why was this Wild West allowed to occur out here? So they're already feeling a little bit of that, pressure. I can't afford no shoes. I got plus, just sold them. Yeah, it's good. It was like back in when silver hit. It was exactly. It was also like 1980. Now I firmly believe silver and gold are gone much higher because they have a much longer rooted history around the world of preservation and stores of excellent stores of value proven over thousands of years. They're not nearly as volatile as a Bitcoin because it's a much broader and deeper market and it's more integrated into the financial system of the world, particularly gold. But India uses silver, and there's a linkage to the psychology there that won't be easily broken. I mean, somebody will take a piece of gold, somebody will take a silver. They may not take a Bitcoin because they're, well, what do I do with this? I could never, to my own loss, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's some people that would come in and, tell me about that. Holding to my lighter, yeah, it's going to be worth something soon. It's an interesting topic, though. We've come through many bubbles in history. Does anybody remember the real estate bubble of 2002 that went bust in 2008? Does anybody remember that? And just when everybody got the idea that real estate was going to be the rocket ride to financial freedom, we know what the hell happened. So I'll show you. I'll be back in a minute. I'll give you evidence of that. Probably have that outside. Let me go grab that real quick. Something to show you guys. This is over here. I saved a little bit of history. What the hell is that? Just a little bit of history. Yeah, I found a rock in my backyard, probably worth $1 billion. Hey Jojo, how you doing? Good to see you. Trish said, yes, I was self-employed at that time and lost our house to foreclosure because of none of the programs worked with self-employed. If you were self-employed, then you were never employed. And the sound of the speakers in this there than if you were made today. Yeah, I think that there is high watch. They're broader frequency speakers. But here's the deal, guys. And I remember back in 2005, the late spring and early summer of 2005, everybody was rushing to Vegas to buy homes, and real estate was gone through the roof. And I went to the newsstand. Yes, we actually had newsstands at that time. And I looked at what was on the newsstand of the popular press, Time Magazine, Fortune, and Money Magazine. And right at the very peak of the market, here it was. This is Time Magazine, June 13th, 2005. Anybody remember that? Home Sweet Home? Hmm? Remember that? Why we're going gaga over real estate. Will your house make you rich? Super hot markets. Okay. That was one that day. Okay. May 30th, 2005. Fortune Magazine. Real estate gold rush. Okay. Inside the hot money world of housing speculators, condo flippers, and get rich schemers, is it too late to get in? All right. All right. Money Magazine, June of 2005. Special issue. Why it's still your best investment. What's next for prices? Your home. There it is. Okay. Now remember, I only show you guys these things because when the popular press thinks an investment is a good idea, it's usually time to get the hell out of it. Okay, because we know what happened by 2008. Boom. We had people losing houses left and right. 2011, I was able to pick up this house for a song. Short sales, remember them and all that? Well, what was the Great Depression? Woo! Yeah, 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 yeah. I was at the gas station and the newspaper was 238 as thin as it is. There's no advertising anymore. I got the receipts. I just tried to show you guys when everybody thinks alike, nobody thinks very much. Okay, and that's the reality of when that market was peaking at that time and everybody was just going crazy. And I decided to hold them because I knew there was going to be a time when these things would be very, very useful. Yep, yeah, they look like the perfect couple. So just be aware. A lot of things are priced for perfection now, and we're in an imperfect world. So just be very, 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 very cautious. Don't get caught up in the hoopla. Like I said, if Bitcoin becomes big enough on the radar screen of governments, all they have to do is, tell merchants not to accept, just like they don't accept. You couldn't do online gambling. They just shut that off, and people used to use their credit card to play poker online, and they crushed that, right? Tell these places to pull out the ATM machines that allow you to access your Bitcoin wallet and all that. So just be careful. Just be very careful. Yeah, there is security in owning a home. There is. So how you doing, Missy? Good to see you. So I only put that out there as just a little bit of a caution because some people have been asking me about Bitcoin and I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I know very well the way that the financial wing of governments operates. Happy days are here again. The sun is, skies are clear again. Do 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 do. Happy days are here again. I mean, if you think Joe Biden's going to be a friend of Bitcoin, I'm just saying the days of probably freewheeling capitalism are probably coming to a rapid close right now, and you're going to probably see a radical increase in regulation of all kinds of markets and things like that. Coinstar will allow you to get put with all your sock drawers changed. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep. Yep. So we shall see. Time will tell. Time will tell. But then February, January is going to be very interesting. Late January, because usually when a president gives an inaugural address, they usually signal what the biggest part of their program is. And there's so much confusion in the world now. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be. Carrie Class says the German version of Happy Days Are Here Again is good. Yeah. Hey, boss, how you doing? So we'll see what happens. But, you know, if you don't think regulation's going to be coming back in a big way, so many different, you know, I can't say it's going to be great for business, okay? But, you know, there'll probably have to be some adjustments and stuff like that. The beauty of Biden is politics will become boring again in no time. Have folks-centered politics. Yeah, I mean, people will move on. Unless the stuff hits the fan in a major way, and then everybody and his mother will be talking about it on a daily. But it's a good time. Good night, Dave. But it is a good time to talk about it on the chat. Who is this knucklehead singing "Happy Days" doing a pandemic lockdown? What the hell does that mean? The hell does that mean? Where's the knucklehead? What? Hey, Mama Lisa. Everyone damn chilly in Wisconsin. So, I don't know, just my thoughts on stuff, guys, for whatever 2 cents it's worth. But just remember, for the first time in, you have to go back to 1932, to June of July of 1932. The last time that a really huge, I'm not talking about 1965 when they had the Civil Rights March on Washington and all that. I'm talking about when people marched on Washington in a big way, okay, because they demanded something. And all through the spring and summer of 1932, a lot of veterans of World War I and their families took trains, boats, cars, buses to get to Washington, D.C. in the depths of the Depression to demand that their bonus, which was supposed to be paid in 1945, be paid earlier. Didn't turn out well, right? Tanks were rolling in the streets. Douglas MacArthur and Dwight D. Eisenhower were pretty much in charge of putting down that bonus army march. They burned up the hovels that the soldiers and their families were occupying, and it left a real stain on the Hoover administration. I remember my grandmother talking about what a bad optic that was to be federal troops firing on veterans in this nation. It's happened before. But now that people have gotten the idea that they can do something in mass numbers and use social media to organize, you can kind of tell that social media is getting a little scared right now that they're becoming the bullhorn of organization for people, and you can tell they're a little frightened of their own power right now. Places like organizations like Twitter in particular, and is feeling like, you know, we can talk about freedom of speech, but they're feeling like they've had to reel it in a little bit. So be careful, because people have now realized with a large group of people, anything is possible now, and that should be something that worries all of us. How you doing, Teresa? Do. Yeah, we know we're not talking about politics per se now, but I'm just talking about mob psychology and all that. So it's an interesting thing to study. Yeah, thumbs up are appreciated. If you haven't hit the thumbs up tonight, I want to thank you guys very much. Do you know you are safe here? Yeah, anybody can express opinions on here. We don't trash people for their We have tons of Democrats. We have tons of Republicans here. It's parties always swing back and forth into power and out of power. You know, interestingly, in California, the Democrat Party started losing slowly, maybe the beginning of a change in Cali. You never know. Things change. Yeah, it just repeats over and over again, Chef. You know why? Because human nature never changes. That's why we repeat history, because human nature never changes. So tax evasion about that. The Sopranos. Well, Paulie Walnuts that's the one I feared the most on The Sopranos. How you doing, Off the Wrench? Just stop by. Thank you, Texas Radio Comedy. I appreciate you stopping by. Pay your membership fees. Exactly. Guys, it's been about an hour and a half, so I am going to bid you all a good night. Plenty of food for thought this evening. Thank you again, Missy. I'm going to try to work on that clip tomorrow, although, I got a situation with the IRS now. I got to iron out because my retirement savings institution didn't properly report a rollover. So thank you for them. So I got to get that stuff ironed out. But I do hope, thank you, Mama Lisa. I do hope you guys enjoyed the chat tonight. I try to be middle of the road. I don't come out and spout about politics and that. I worry more and think more about the result of what's happening now, not so much about what happened, but where do we go from here and all that. I'm glad you enjoyed it, McDave. Thank you to my wonderful moderators on here, as usual, for doing a bang-up job. And thank all of you for coming in. No matter what your affiliation is, we're not here to talk politics. We're here to talk about the effects of politics and making sure that we prep, stay safe, and thrive in a very difficult environment. Vaccine rollout, I hope that's going to pick up speed now. I hope we don't lose anybody in the community due to COVID-19. So I hope so. Okay, Off the Wrench. So yeah, try to be fair. Try to see the other side. There's so much to be gained by seeing both sides of the argument. If, say what you will, when I grew up, we had a newspaper, the Baltimore Sun, and we had ABC, CBS, and NBC. Okay. We had very limited choices of news, and we didn't really pick or choose what reinforced our opinion. We just read what was reported on TV and the newspaper. Nowadays, I've noticed people try to seek out information that doesn't offer them necessarily counterpoints of view, but reinforces their own beliefs. And we see that in the country with a very harsh split of the parties, where there can be zero cooperation now between Republicans and Democrats. So, all right, thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful evening. And the Discord is open over there if you want to argue in a little more unfettered environment. We just ask you keep it civil, but if you want a little more of rolling up the sleeves and having a go at it, you can certainly go onto the Discord. It's a 24-hour type message board related to this channel. Can talk about any topic you want on there and engage back and forth if you want to keep the discussion going. So appreciate all of you, Have a wonderful night and be safe out there, okay? And thumbs up are always appreciated. See you tomorrow, guys.